stock? Anybody own Disney stock? Well, you should buy some. All right, you do, right? You watched it grow up a little bit?
No, I was talking to someone upstairs, and they were telling me how Marvel basically sold out to Disney.
Yeah, well, Walt Disney bought Marvel Comics for $4 billion.
$4 billion.
But it sounds like a lot of money, except the first 3 Spider-Man movies made more than $4 billion. So it wasn't really that much because they bought over 2,000 characters. Although, as you know, some of you guys know, Fox owns the rights to the X-Men
and Fantastic
Four, so they all don't get along. And so he has Spider-Man, yeah. So, and they can't. The only way the studios get it back, from what I hear, is if they don't make a film within 5 years. Yeah. So that's why you'll always see X-Men movies and Spider-Man, and and a new FF. Well, the writers, like guys like us that write these things that the movies are based on, as you can tell, we're not well off. As you can look at it.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be here.
We wouldn't be here. We'd be somewhere else.
I was making big money. I wouldn't be at Eternalcon in Long Island. Bozos on fire.
And the high tax.
Yeah, with the high taxes and the bar.
We'd be at a beach house at Fire Island.
Right? I wouldn't be here.
Jimmy's going to tell you, for all you budding writers and artists, Jimmy's getting to a very good point. So
well, just say, it's when you guys talk about a movie, the first thing you say is either the actor or the director, correct? Right. How many people remember who wrote the X-Men movie? Anybody? How about Captain America? Who wrote that? How about Spider-Man? The Spider-Man movies? Exactly. Right. So that's why we don't get much money.
But screenwriters, if you write screenplays, you can make a lot of money doing that. But the X-Men film, The Days of Future Past, and that's Claremont and Byrne, right?
Well, no.
It's from them.
It's from this year.
And how much money did Chris Claremont
Well, he's in the movie.
Oh, Chris?
Yeah, Chris
So
is
is
in
Len
the
Wein.
movie. So is Lee Wein.
I saw both of them last weekend.
But you didn't see them in the movie, did you?
Did they dress up for you? They wear X-Men costumes?
Did they lay down?
Chris Claremont was in a Cyclops costume.
All right.
There you go.
And Len was
I don't think I want to know anything
No,
further.
Len was in the original
I will end
X-Men.
that conversation there.
No, but they were in the film?
Yeah, they were in the film. But my sideways point is, the writers, or even though the ideas come from the writers aren't looked upon as any big deal in Hollywood.
But also, as a comic book writer, right, for the most part, you won't make money off of the movie. Because you wrote the comic. And it doesn't matter, unless you're Frank Miller and you have a creator-owned project.
Right.
And they buy Sin City or 300. Then you make a lot of money. But if you work for Marvel, Marvel makes all that money. The comic book artists don't get any royalties off of that unless it's in their contract that they create a particular character, I think, that's used in it. But that's what I'm saying. If you guys want to write and draw your own books like me, I own She, and we have a big film deal now. And all that money goes to me, no one else. Now, if I...
To pay his taxes.
To pay all his taxes to live here.
Billy, can I be in your film?
Yes. Yes, you can.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, and again, I guess back to what the young lady was talking about, we write our own comics, we do our own comics. It's called creator-owned comics, and we own the rights to it. And that's what's happening in the world, and that right now is that a lot of the guys who've been working for Marvel and for DC and the big companies are saying, wait a minute, they're making these billion-dollar movies. We're not even included in this, so we get next to nothing for it. Yet they wouldn't have this movie without us. So we're trying to do our own thing, and that's why, myself included, I support any of the creators that do their own books as well. And it's important. You'll see a lot of smaller guys, like not big name guys, here at the tables, pushing their own work, and those are the best people to support.
Yep, absolutely.
They're doing it out of passion. Like I said, nobody really, there's only a couple of rich people in our business, honestly, right? There's only like a couple. And for the most, and it ain't us. It's definitely not Billy. It's not Billy. It's not you. No, it's not. But anyway, that's where creator owned, and I think that's the future of comics as well, because digital delivery, we can put our comic online, and you guys can download it for 99 cents, and 99 cents adds up for us, especially if you look at the fact that if you sell, like, let's just say you're doing a Marvel DC comic and it sells under 50,000 copies. But 50,000, if you're a creator owned and you do 50,000 copies of a book, you're going to make good money.
Oh, yeah.
Great money.
Yeah.
But if you do 50,000 copies of a Marvel DC, you're below where you would have actually even get a royalty, so you don't get anything.
Yeah, we did. When I did the Sergeant Rock, The Lost Battalion, it was 6 issues. It took me a year to draw that book. and to write it. And my wife totaled how much money I made off it. And the book was the biggest selling war book in like 35 years for them. And it was a big hit. It did very well. I made $38,000 for that year. Because I was but it was such a passion project for me, because I love Sergeant Rock. I love the detail. It was basically a documentary. That's what this was doing. This book was about. But I made just my page rate. I mean, I make a little bit of royalties, but not a lot at all. But the point is, if that was my own book, and that book sold 30,000 copies,
Sure.
that's a lot of money. That would have been a lot of money for me. But because I worked my butt off on this one book for another company, I really didn't make a lot of, my wife's like, oh, you gotta do some conventions or something like that to make, to sell art. Get a job.
Get a job.
You bum.
I need a job.
Be a man.
I need a job.
And if you want to see Billy's work, you can see the book.
Well, the problem with the contract is they don't always offer, and it's, again, this is why a lot of creators don't create new things for the big companies, because they don't really offer. DC, Warner Brothers has a creative contract, but it's minimal, it's a little bite, right? And we appreciate anything they give us, Marvel and DC, but it's not lucrative. It's not anything, it's sort of like a nice nod to say, hey, you had something to do with it, and we're happy for it, but you put it out yourself, it's 100%. And there's a thing called in Hollywood, and actually in everything, in games, TV, and video, it's called an IP, an intellectual property. I'm sure you guys heard of it. And it's where you actually create and own the property. And when you own the property, if you ever sell it for a game or for TV or film, they have to pay a fee for the intellectual property. So it's beyond you just creating it, they have to actually pay for the character. And so it's a secondary payment. And then, of course, when it happens, these are all good problems that we rarely run into. But you try to become a producer on it, you try to get another thing.
Yeah.
Listen, but the three of us here, we create because we love to tell stories, and that's our bottom line. I mean, we're talking the business of it, but honestly, the business is the part that we have to deal with that you guys don't have to do. You guys just go out and buy the book and enjoy it for what it is. And that's the most important thing at the end of the day for us, is that we entertain you guys.
Yeah.
And other than Frank's work, Billy and I work really well at entertaining.
Yes.
He just launches characters into space. And calls it a book.
Space everything, baby.
Blows them up.
Space everything, man.
Space.
Yeah. Oh, no, you.
I got a question for Billy.
Okay.
Yeah,
right here.
Billy.
Billy's over there.
Right here.
No. I'm Billy. That's Frank.
I'm Frank, yeah.
Jimmy, Frank.
Caesar Frank.
Yes, I'm Frank. Hey,
I'm
don't
David.
call me Billy again, man. We're not that worse.
So Frank,
Are you a barber?
worked on the Punisher book?
Yes, I actually worked on a couple of Punisher projects.
Punisher in space.
Punisher in Space, I did Punisher Noir, which
Punisher.
was in the 1920s, fighting Dutch shells and stuff like that, so. Yeah, see?
If you search Frank's name on the internet, there's a famous
I
gangster.
got game, son, I got game.
How many Punisher books do you ever work on?
I don't know, I worked on a few, I can't tell you
Like
exactly.
20, 30?
Something, that may be good.
I did more than that.
Congratulations. You do Wolverine?
Yeah,
Now, here's a, I want to ask you.
I did it for 3 years. You beat me on Wolverine.
I beat you on Wolverine.
You did, you beat me. I had my own company in there, at Marvel
Shut
Manliest. All right.
Yes, sir.
Hi, this question's for any of you. Along the lines of what you were talking about with intellectual property and creator-owned and with Marvel and DC, what are your thoughts on the other companies like Dark Horse, IDW, and Image?
Okay, well, Image is a creator-owned company. That's what they're known for. So you bring it, but what you have to do is with Image Comics now, when they put out your book, you own it 100%. But you have to bring in a finished book for them. Okay, so you have to get your penciler, inker, writing, coloring, lettering. You have to bring in a disc that the book is done, and you submit it to them. And then if they okay it, you pay a fee for them handling it, which is your added diamond. And then whatever your order is, they cover the printing. The money, whatever profit it makes covers the printing first and the fee first. So you don't make a dime until you go past the fee and the action and the printing.
Right.
But the great thing is you own that property. So Image is terrific, but you have to have a little money in your pocket to get that book done, because it's not cheap. And you know, like Billy just said, it took a whole year to do 5 issues. So you realize that there's a lot of money involved. We're putting it together. Now, Boom and Dark Horse, they offer creator shared properties. So you go in and they'll own half and you own half, but they also represent the property, which...
They go shopping around.
They want the film rights, right? Or they're attached to the film rights or something like that, or video games if it's made into that. Same thing with IDW.
Yeah, same thing with IW.
Yeah.
So these are, you know, everybody has a different deal. It's a different menu, I say.
They're great. Great guys.
Yeah, all of them. Look, all of
IDW
them.
guys are great.
Marvel and DC are fantastic. If you know what you're getting into,
Right. You gotta realize what it is.
it's sort of like you go to dinner with Frank. You kind of know what you're getting into.
The best dinner of your life.
Right, but you'll have to pay for it. So,
And you'll be paying for
You
a lot
have to pay
later.
for my company.
Anyone else?
no, that's it. You guys, you got a question? No, I saw you just waving. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yes.
That's true.
This is for Billy.
Yes.
On Sergeant Rock, I heard that you got like models for stuff that you drew.
Yeah.
You like got the gun and then drew that. Do you do that for your other books, or was that just a special thing you did for Sergeant Rock?
No, I always use I use everything when I draw for my things. Like I have like all these GI Joes and stuff, and I pose them or I pose my friends. You know, take photos and use. It depends on the type of book I'm doing. You know, with She, I don't really use the reference because that's more of a cartoony style. Like that Sergeant Rock was more of a, like I said, it was like a documentary.
You just have a gal posing to She once in a while? Or
Well,
no?
Debbie, my wife, my wife would pose. I still get it. Like, honey, bend over. No. You know, like, honey, like do this. Like, you know, like especially like foreshortenings,
Right.
things like that. It's always, but for the most part, that stuff's kind of easy. So the samurai armor and all I could do, but it really, I've always used models. Yes, it depends on how detailed and how I do. But it's cool. It really helps to draw from models, from life. You'll never be able to draw a car out of your head than looking at a car. You know what I mean?
And that's the wonder of the internet now,
Yeah,
because
and
you
it,
Google everything.
yeah. And what I do with cars, in all honesty, I'll tell you, and I want to get away from it because I saw like Dave Johnson drew that great Batmobile illustration. You saw that, and I'm like, wow, that looks a lot of fun. Because what I do, I use what's
Program?
the program that with the spinning around. What? SketchUp.
SketchUp.
Whenever I have to draw cars and stuff like that, I get Google SketchUp, and I'll just pose the way I want, and then I just trace it. Because I can't draw a tiger tank out of my head like, you know, we're not Joe Kubert.
You gotta practice.
Billy's a hack.
I'm a hack. Yeah, I'm the only one. But I like to do that more, you know, more organic way of drawing, like they used to, you know.
All right, seeing all the books that you've done and everything, is that like a dream project you want to do with any, like, taking Keys to the Kingdom, an existing character from Marvel or DC you'd want to do something with? What would you want to do? Captain Brooklyn
I want
is
to
these two
do,
guys.
I want to do something like Captain Brooklyn.
Amanda's not doing it right now.
Yeah.
So you have to wait till she's not done with it.
As we speak, she's not doing it right now as we
As
speak.
we speak, she's up there, downstairs. I don't know where we are.
Well, I personally, I love, for Marvel and DC books, for fun, I love the Golden Age. I love the 1940s, I love the 30s, and I have several Captain America and Batman Golden Age stories that I think that would
Why do all
really...
these people coming? Is something good happening here?
It's a Star Wars fight, lightsaber training.
Next, is that lightsaber?
Really?
Can they stop bullets, lightsabers? Can they stop? Can they? All right.
So they're just waiting for us to leave.
What's your...
Come on, get these guys out of here so we can Star Wars.
My dream project would be paying Billy's tax. I gotta be honest, I don't have that, thing. I mean, I'm doing Harley Quinn right now, and that's a lot of fun. And I got to work on, pretty much everyone at DC and Marvel I ever wanted to work on, I worked on.
Yeah, I also, if I may, Frank, just real quick, I did the Christmas story, and I really would love to do,
Follow up?
Yeah.
Like the rest of them?
Yeah, I'd like to do the
Sequel?
The Sermon on the Mount, like Jesus on the Sermon
Jesus
on
the
the Mount,
Revenge.
the Attitudes. I want to do a book on that, and I'd love to tell the Easter story. That's just me. That's what I really
Why
want
don't
to
you do it?
I am. I will. I'm working on the 25th She story. Next year, I'll do the rest.
Why don't you do like She versus Jesus?
You have a question? She has a question right here. How many comics did I read?
Too many.
Did he read or did he make?
I must
Make.
I'm dead. If I count inking and writing, like if I count those two things, probably like around 2,000, 2,500 maybe, at least. I think at least.
Holy cow.
Individual comics, yeah. Because I've written probably like 600, at least 600. Yeah. So I'm guessing, and then
You're really
inking,
old.
and then I am old, and then I inked. I used to ink like, oh my god. I used to like,
That's right.
I don't even know, but how about this? I don't even have one copy of each. I don't, because you know when you do it, you look. And I'm like, I don't want to look at that anymore. I did that already.
How about you, Frank?
Yeah. 12.
All in space.
A couple hundred, right? A couple hundred.
Yeah.
A few hundred, yeah.
Yeah, I think I probably did 200 books, man. That's it.
I've been working
But I'm a
on it.
creator own. See, I own my own thing. So, in effect, as opposed to doing a bunch of Marvel and DC books, when you own your own property, you make that much more money because you make everything on it. You know, you own it. You get all that money, so you don't have to do as much. That's not the thing.
Yeah, I used to hustle. When I was inking like 3 books a month.
Are there any more questions? Because I got no.
She has a question right
What's your question?
My question is, I just got here. What was your least favorite comic to do?
My least favorite comic. Bill, you can start.
Captain Brooklyn.
Actually, you're not doing it.
No, I did. Mine was at Birds of Prey. I did. Oh.
How about you?
Least favorite. Oh, least favorite. Jeez.
Punisher in space.
Punisher in Space.
That's the only book he did.
That was my least favorite to read. That was my least favorite to read.
Let me see. My least favorite. I don't know.
You know? Okay. I don't have any. I don't really have a least favorite. I just have ones I quit in the middle of. I don't know if that counts, but I just said I actually quit in the middle of a book.
Here's what I did. 2 Deadpool. My run on Deadpool was cut short by 2 issues, and they credited me for the last 2 issues, and I didn't write them.
You didn't recognize it.
The last 2, they mistakenly credited me, and they're awful.
You know, I actually thinking about drawing wise, I drew the 2 Madonna comics.
Yeah,
When I first started.
Yeah, how are you with that?
And there's some guys out here in Long Island, and they probably still owe me some money.
Yeah, Triumph.
They're regular comics. They probably still owe me money. Yeah, go ahead.
What do you think about the X-Men film that came out?
I like the new X-Men film. It was pretty good. I like Captain America better though.
Yeah.
The new Captain America, I did like it better.
I didn't see the new X-Men.
You didn't like Captain America?
No,
Cap is
Cap
fantastic.
is maybe the best Marvel movie they've made. Cap and Iron Man, I would say.
Here's the thing. I don't care about who's directing Ant-Man. Thank you very much.
Don't ask that question. All right, over the years, you met a lot of creators. Who was like a creative hero that you met at one of these cons? Somebody who really stood out to you, you know? Old in age, doesn't matter to me. But somebody you met, you said, wow, look at him. Yeah, besides Frank, the first time you met Frank.
Yeah.
I took it out for you.
No, Frank met me.
All right.
I didn't mean Frank. Frank met me.
Oh.
Well, who would be like the best creator you ever met? You had a good experience with? Nicest, you know, somebody respected when you met him. Probably you, Kubert, right? You probably.
Oh, yeah, Joe Kubert. Yeah, Joe. But see, like, it's so funny, like, guys, Joe Kubert loved me. I would call him when I was doing the rock book, and he'd spend anything. He's like, come down to the school and talk to my, I'm like, sure. I never did, but, and Frank Frazetta loved me. I would talk to Frazetta on the phone all the time, and he'd call me, actually. So I don't know, for some reason, these guys just like me, but Dave Stevens was a friend. He was a great guy.
Created the Rocketeer, that was Dave
Yep, who
Stevens.
created the Rocketeer.
And Creator Owned also.
Yep.
Creator Owned, the Rocketeer, don't forget that.
So it's more fun to say he was a jerk. But,
That's another kind of.
those 3 guys have just had a huge influence on me, and I've been really fortunate because I met a lot of people through Jimmy, actually, and introduced me to a lot of his friends, and they sort of accepted me into the mix.
How about you?
Probably my favorite would be Amanda Conner.
Oh.
My wife. That was my favorite person to meet. Is she in here? Okay, she's not here? All right, it was definitely Billy Tuesday.
I know, like, your favorite, like,
Amanda, like, I
someone, a
met,
friend,
you know, yeah.
like, someone who became a really good friend.
Yeah.
I have my buddy, who's, he's here. I don't know if he's here. I don't think he's. No. My friend, I don't know if you know Gary Cohn, who wrote Senryaku. She's Senryaku, and he's been doing comics for a decade or 2. I don't know. He was like 42 when I met Gary, I think. Anyway, but he created Blue Devil, Amethyst, and he really was like a real what's the word? Not a tutor, but
Mentor.
a mentor to me. Him and a friend of mine's, John Tartaglione. Remember John?
John.
My best friend John is his son. So I met him in college, and he just taught me a lot. And I remember one time he was inking Archie pages. So I was driving in the car with John. I'm like, wow, these pages are great. We're on Sunrise Highway. And also, bring a window. An Archie page.
Oh my God.
I pull over, I run out, and the page is standing right side up. It just landed, and there was no cars around it. And I'm like,
Where was this? Long Island?
Long Island, Sunrise Highway.
So, there were no cars on the Sunrise Highway.
This sounds make believe. This is make believe story.
But no cars.
Because every time I get on it, it's like 8 hours in traffic.
Fake
The only
believe
thing worse
story.
is the Bell
Fake
parking lot.
story. I'm calling this a fake story. Fake story. Clearly a fake story.
It's not a
Nothing worse except the Bell Parkway.
Yeah, Bell Parkway.
The Bell parking lot, we call that.
Exactly.
No, but it landed in the street. It landed on Sunrise Highway and in like West Islip or something like that. You know, where the lights are, like Lindenhurst area.
Totally fake story.
And who cares? Right? Nobody cares.
Totally make believe story.
How about you, Frank?
Yeah, what about you, Frank?
Somebody you met that you admire.
Besides me.
Who do you mind? Like, who helps
I'm
you?
nobody. You know what? Well, you just should be happy to meet me.
But you never, like somebody when you were younger, you admired and then you met them.
Nobody.
Nobody.
No, absolutely nobody. I don't admire anybody.
Next.
Rodney Ramos? Rodney Ramos.
Yeah, I admire him.
How about John Sedlow?
Yes, absolutely, John Sutton.
He's here.
He's here. Johnny C. Come see you.
Nelson?
Nelson DeCastro. Yeah. Here's how you get into comics. Listen closely.
My advice is don't.
That's another great thing that Gary said. Gary had said, comics is an industry where you could literally make hundreds of dollars.
I will say, if I have to give advice, it's like anything you want to do in life. You have to do a lot of it. You have to research it. You have to be smart about it. You have to be disciplined. You have to be aware of what other people are doing. You know, you can't just do your own thing. You have to look at everything that's being done. Never follow trends. Just work hard. And if there's schooling involved, and if you can get to a school, great, for illustration, for writing, anything. But honestly, you have to do it every day. It has to be the love of your life besides the love of your life. Okay? And even so, it's still hard sometimes because then it's luck and the right. But I will say, my best piece of advice would be, no matter how talented or not talented you are, is to have good manners when you're dealing with people. Meet people, be friendly with them, be nice, treat them like you like to be treated, and even somebody that's not so talented, if they come over to me and speak to me the right way and present themselves right, I will give them my time and try to help them. And again, it's all hard work. And it's really intimidating because people come here with the portfolios. I'm looking at portfolios later, I think. And it's nerve-wracking for them. And I know it is, because that used to be me doing it. So, a lot of politeness and a lot of hard work. After that, it's luck, like any job, right? Like singers, we don't have a TV show where comic people come on and we judge them and
We should.
I would also...
Right here, we should be the panel.
We should be the panel.
Right here.
It would be the worst show on TV. It would be the most horrible cable show ever.
I would also...
The highest rated.
I would also look into digital comics, web comics. There's even an Eisner Award for best web comic. And you can win an Eisner, then there's all sorts of exposures, whether you like to work for Marvel or DC. Absolutely, you can do a poor man's copyright. That's what I did with She. First, the self-addressed envelope.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of, online you can look up copywriting, there's a lot of stuff. When we started, didn't have all the computer with all the information, and of course Frank had it because he's 12. But, we didn't have access to that. Since we're calling us old men, we didn't have access. We used to have to do a poor man copyright, which is you take your idea, you put it in an envelope, and you mail it to yourself, and you don't open the envelope. It has a post stamp and a sealed envelope. That used to be called the poor man's copyright. Now, the world is different now. And I always say that, people go, I don't know if anybody has this name. I'm like, you have no excuse anymore, because you put it on the internet, and either you find it or you don't. Either if you search, and go past page 1 when you're searching. Don't stick on one. Go to 45 and see if it's still popping up. People go to me, I didn't see it. I'm like, would you go to page 2? Well, no, but there was nothing on the first page. And I'm like,
Also, I copyrighted She June 12th, 1993, 21 years ago this week. And it was the best $20 I've ever spent. No, it was the best
Not for
$20.
me,
It's only
though.
$20. But it was the best 20. Yeah, copyrighted, and it was the best $20 I've ever spent. So,
okay.
I think I know all these people aren't for us. So
No,
I think that's
No.
Hells no.
We're big Star Wars
My
fans.
kids want to see it too.
We're big Star Wars fans, just so you know. I actually worked on Star Wars comics. Yeah, for Dark Horse. Did a bunch of them. I hated every minute. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
So yeah, Harrison Ford died from his injuries.
Oh,
It was a
How's the Ford's dead? You get no movie. That's all got shot. Real this time. That's always gonna suck.
All right, everybody, I just want to give a big round of applause before Frank Tieri, Jimmy Palmiotti, Billy Tucci. My name is David Donovan. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna get my kids to watch this panel.
See you later.